He was the king of kings, a visionary who united disparate tribes into the Achaemenid superpower. For 30 years, Cyrus the Great was the architect of an empire. From the fall of Babylon to the conquest of Lydia, no king could stand against his might, carving his name into the very bedrock of history. To the northeast, past the Oxus River, beyond the last Persian satrapy, lived a people who answered to no empire. The Massagetae of the Eurasian steppe, and they were about to remind the world that even the greatest conquerors have edges. Cyrus had seen his borders expand in every direction, but he could not abide a frontier he did not control. He turned his eyes toward the fierce nomads. The Massagetae were led by Queen Tomyris, a woman whose ferocity and tactical mind were as sharp as the blades her people carried into battle. Seeking a peaceful conquest, Cyrus sent a messenger with a proposal of marriage. He sought her hand, but Tomyris saw only a quest for her kingdom. To her, this was no union of hearts, but a trap for her sovereignty. She rejected the king's offer with contempt, dropping the scroll into the dirt. Realizing diplomacy had failed, Cyrus crossed the Araxes River. He knew the nomads were masters of the open field, so he devised a cunning and dishonorable trap. He left a portion of his camp seemingly abandoned, filled with the finest meats and, most crucially, massive jars of strong, unwatered Persian wine. Tomyris' son Spargapises led the vanguard. They fell upon the camp, celebrating what they believed was a hasty Persian retreat, and drank themselves into a stupor. As the moon rose, the warriors were incapacitated by the alcohol. Then, from the darkness, the Persian soldiers emerged to take their prize. Spargapises was captured and taken in chains. When he realized his own foolishness had betrayed his people, the young prince took his own life in shame. Word reached Tomyris of her son's fate. Her grief was brief, quickly replaced by a cold, terrifying fury that would seal the fate of the Persian king. She sent a final message to Cyrus: "Return, my son, or, I swear by the sun, I will give you more blood than you can drink." Cyrus ignored the warning, confident in his seasoned infantry. But he had never faced a mother with nothing left to lose and a nation of riders behind her. What happened next, Herodotus called one of the fiercest battles ever fought between non-Greek peoples. The Massagetae didn't fall for the same trick twice. No abandoned camps, no wine, no traps. Just the steppe and a people with grief where their fear used to be. The two armies met in a clash that would be remembered as one of the most brutal in the ancient world. The air was thick with dust and screams. The Massagetae horse archers swarmed the Persian flanks, raining arrows with deadly precision, while their heavy cavalry smashed through the center. In the chaos of the melee, Cyrus the Great found himself isolated. The King of Kings, who had survived 100 battles, was finally cornered. By the time the sun set, the Persian army was shattered, and their legendary founder lay dead upon the cold earth of the steppe. Tomyris walked through the remains of the battle. She searched until she found the body of Cyrus, the man who had brought ruin to her family. Fulfilling her gruesome promise, she plunged his head into a vessel of blood, saying, "I live and have conquered you, yet you have destroyed me." Whether this happened exactly as described, we cannot know for certain. Ancient historians were not above drama, but here is what we do know. The most powerful conqueror of the ancient world, the man who freed the Babylonian slaves, who wrote what some call history's first declaration of human rights, was destroyed by a nomadic queen on a forgotten steppe. The symmetry is almost too perfect to be accidental. He intoxicated her son with wine. She drowned his legacy in blood. Not everyone agrees on the details. Xenophon, another ancient source, suggests Cyrus died peacefully in his bed, surrounded by his sons. Some historians believe the Massagetae campaign may have been conflated with other conflicts, but the weight of ancient testimony and the archaeology of the period points to one conclusion. Around 530 BC, Cyrus the Great died on campaign in the northeast. The exact circumstances, the blood, the severed head, the final words of Tomyris, may be legend. The death itself is not. Here is the strange thing about how Cyrus is remembered. His death was a defeat. His body was lost on a foreign steppe. His final campaign achieved nothing. And yet, the empire didn't collapse. It expanded. Cambyses II pushed into Egypt. Darius I turned the Achaemenid Empire into the most sophisticated administrative state the ancient world had seen. The system Cyrus built, tolerance, infrastructure, local autonomy, proved more durable than any single battle. Even Alexander the Great, who would finally end the Achaemenid dynasty 2 centuries later. Stopped at Cyrus's tomb. He had it restored. He reportedly wept. The tomb still stands today in Pasargadae, Iran. Simple, almost modest. A small stone structure for the man who once held the world. It reads, "O man, whoever you are and wherever you come from, I am Cyrus, who won the Persians their empire. Do not begrudge me this little earth that covers my body." The empire Cyrus built would survive for centuries. But his death served as a stark reminder that even the greatest kings are mortal. Today, his legacy is etched in stone and memory. Cyrus the Great built his empire on a radical idea that the people you conquer are still people, that tolerance outlasts terror, that an empire built on dignity can survive, what an empire built on fear cannot. And then, in his final campaign, he forgot to extend that same respect to a queen on the edge of his map. He underestimated her, and she made sure history would never forget either of them. A king who conquered the world, only to find his end in the vengeance of a mother, a queen. The story of Cyrus and Tomyris remains one of history's most tragic and epic turning points. Subscribe for more legendary tales from the ancient past.